guys, welcome back to my channel, Designer Secrets, Tips, Tricks, and Hacks. My name is Lori, and today is going to be super exciting. We are going to talk about how to DIY make over your accessories and home decor for free. And it's super simple. A lot of these things are going to blow your mind because you can get a very awesome look with things that you probably just have laying around your house. So let's get started. Okay, so here we go. And again, we're going to be talking about some items that we can do some easy makeovers on. And a lot of these things are going to be items you probably just have stuck in a closet and aren't doing any good there. So let's make them look awesome, bring them back out, and give them a new life. So the first idea, throw pillows, and you may get sick of them. You may buy new, but why do that when you can give them a little makeover that is super cheap? And on the top left, you'll see you can purchase slip covers for them, which is not free, obviously, unless you have some great hookup I don't know about. But that's something that's super easy to do and gives you a whole fresh new look on the throw pillows. Another idea is, again, we've talked about this previously, you can get fabric paint and come up with some fun designs and paint them if they have more of a solid background. And another really cool trick I have come across is the no-sew version of slip covering them. And the cool thing about this is if you have any old shirts that have a neat pattern, but you don't wear them anymore, or remnant fabric, you can use them. And there are some great tutorials online that show you how to do these fun little ties, and it's a cute decorative element. And again, if you can come up with some fabric from either some clothing or remnants or curtains, etc., then you can get a cool new look for your throw pillows. And I don't know about you, but at some point in my life, I've had some crystal lamps handed down from some family member. And not my style, but obviously spray paint comes in handy once again to give a nice, new, fresh look. And even though it's glass and metal, you can paint that. There are specific paints for glass and metal, but honestly, if you get some primer, or any kind of a all-purpose spray paint, then you can give these a nice new coat of paint and they look fresh and new. And same goes for candlesticks. Maybe you have these 90s wooden multicolored candlesticks that you are not in love with anymore. But again, and white is not the only color you can do, obviously, but it is nice if you use a lighter color, you can get a little sandpaper out and distress the detailing. So you get a little bit of an extra accent there. And again, free if you already have the paint, and it makes it fresh and new. So then let's look at some free table decor ideas. So one of the really cool things that I've done in my own house is taking branches from bushes and trees that I have outside, and they don't have to have leaves or anything on them. They actually look better if they're plain because obviously the leaves would die once you cut the branch and you don't want to mess all over your table. So find a vase or some kind of a container, and cut the branches to the appropriate size. You'll see that the branches are just slightly longer than the height of the vase. That's about the rule of thumb that you want, because obviously if they're super tall, it's going to look goofy, and super short, they'll look stubby. But this makes a really dramatic accent. And I have kept all the vases I've gotten flowers in over the years, and that looks like maybe that's what this one is. So I pull that out, put some branches in there, and boom, you have a really cool arrangement that would look great on a table or an end table or console table. And on the bottom right corner, you'll see mason jars are a great source of decorative containers that you can use, and a lot of people just stick them in a cupboard somewhere because somebody's given them canned goods and now you don't can. So what are you going to do with these vases? So on this particular picture, the person painted the outside of the vase. And when you do that, you could also grab some sandpaper and kind of lightly sand over the ball and the mason words that are in relief on the glass, and it'll make those stand out a little bit more if you want that look. And on the flip side of this, you can paint the inside of the container, the mason jar, and then you still have that kind of a slick, glassy look, and it's been back painted on the inside of the container, which more than likely the easiest way to do that would be to use a paintbrush, not try to spray paint, because I'm sure it would get messy and you'd probably get paint on the outside too as well. So grab some latex paint and or even house paint that you have around the house, and get a paintbrush and paint the inside of those suckers and it'll look great. And if you look at the two center pictures, you'll see that you can use antlers. And PETA people or animal lovers, don't get upset with me. Antlers are actually naturally shed by the deer. So nobody was harmed in the making of this video. You can set them on shelves or on books, as in the center picture. And in the picture with the urn, you can use them as a really cool accent piece, something different, sculptural almost. And this can be done with any found objects. I'm using antlers as an example, but they could be decorative rocks or just pretty much anything that you find in nature, and can be used as a really cool accent. So next, speaking of vase fillers, a really, really great way to fill up these glass containers or your candle holders is with objects that you have. So maybe you have a rock collection or a seashell collection. If you arrange those in some clear glass containers, you have vase fillers that stand out and are beautiful in themselves. Plus, it's a really cool way to display your collections. So on the right two pictures, you can use coffee beans or split peas, which adds some really nice texture and color, and the coffee beans would smell fantastic. But it adds a nice little pop to these glass containers and act as candle holders as well. And again, it's a more dramatic way to use these containers as opposed to just sticking a candle in them. So again, free, go to your pantry, pull out any kind of grain or bean that you have that's dried and put them in a vase, arrange some candles with them, and you've got some wow added to your tabletops. And some really cool alternative artwork, which we've talked about in a previous episode, but I wanted to talk about it again because these are items that you probably have laying around your house or could get from friends or family members if they aren't using art pieces anymore. And the far left, the two pictures with picture frames on them, you simply remove the glass and you can paint them if you want and stack and layer them. They'd have to be screwed together, and you can use them, which is a great idea, as a towel rack in a bathroom. It's a little wow factor, or just as a collage that's shown in the bottom picture. So again, if you're not using picture frames or mirror frames, take those things apart and use the frames themselves. And the picture next to it shows some old windows collaged on a stairwell, which gives a really big wow factor when you are viewing that wall. You can collage them together. Some are distressed, which they look like they're antique, but you don't have to necessarily have antique windows. You can distress them yourself or paint them all the same color to make it cohesive if you like that look. And if you've renovated your house and maybe have some windows laying around, or somebody you know has, or there's a barn maybe that's going to be torn down, ask them if you can have the windows. So, great idea. Looks fantastic. In the center photo, you can see puzzle pieces that have been painted, and this is great. I have a ton of puzzles that I've already done, and now I don't want them anymore. So you get them out, you paint them in some either great color or metallic, and you can either glue them onto a canvas or maybe use the adhesive on walls that doesn't do any damage and create a cool art piece that way. And on the picture to the right, you see an accent wall at the end of a corridor where they've simply painted the wall that black color and then used wood slats. And you don't even have to do the shelves that they're showing here. Maybe you have yardsticks you can get, or paint sticks that have no writing on them, obviously. Or if you're handy, you can cut down plywood panels, and you could stain them if you want. You can leave them unstained. Again, either screw them to the wall or use some kind of adhesive that is removable so it doesn't do any damage. And you can create a really cool focal point wall relatively easily and for free. And in the picture to the left of that, you will see again, it's a window. However, this time they put a skyline poster of Paris. That's not a skyline, it's just a poster of the city of Paris. You can see the Eiffel Tower in the background. So it gives the illusion that the window is overlooking Paris, even though you're maybe in the Midwest. But it's fun and it's a really cool idea. And this is one of my favorite things to do too, and I have done this in my own home, is log slices. It is amazing the kinds of things you can do with log slices. So maybe you've cut down some trees in your own yard or know somebody that has. You can buy these in stores, but again, we're trying to do this for free. So you can create wall collages with them. On the left, there is, I believe it's a canvas that's been painted black and log slices of different sizes glued to it. Same idea below in the heart shape, and that could be directly applied to a wall, but that looks like that might be complicated. So I would get some kind of a form to glue it to or cut one out. You could get some hairpin legs and make a little side table, which I have done this as well. And I got the hairpin legs off of a different piece of furniture, so I didn't have to purchase them. But it could be any kind of a base, or you could even use a whole stump as a side table. I've done that as well. Plus, outside, it's a really cool accent to use those as side tables with your outdoor furniture. Above that, you could use them as coasters. And on the top right corner, again, wall collages, you could turn some horizontally and create wall shelves. There'll have to be a little bit of engineering there. I'm not sure exactly how they did this, but I have a feeling there's a lot of screws involved. So this is a free way that you can make some really cool furniture or wall art, and it has a very dramatic effect. However, I will say I washed my slices when I got them outside, scrubbed them with some Dawn soap, and then I sprayed them once they dried with a clear acrylic spray so that it kind of set anything that is within the wood in place so it didn't come out onto the wall. And on that thought too, make sure you do not do this with any pine trees or anything that has sap in them, because you really don't want to have sap dripping out and ruining things in your house. So again, super cool, dramatic way to add some wow. And the final thing is repurpose your Christmas lights. one of the most impactful ways to add drama to your home is to add some items that are lighted. For instance, on the left with the wooden shelves, you have it backlit, and maybe you have Christmas lights that have the battery pack. That way you don't have a cord dangling, because that would not look good. Or maybe you have a plug in the wall that you can plug them into, but it creates a very dramatic effect and it gives a really neat 3D relief look to those shelves. And on the other picture, if you have some kind of a wire that you can form into this branch look, great. You can wrap them with Christmas lights and have a dramatic art piece there. Or if you didn't have anything like that, you could actually use little 3M hooks that don't do any damage to the wall and kind of wind your Christmas lights around and create whatever look you want. Doesn't have to be a branch. It could be any kind of form that you are going for, and hook them onto that, and boom, you're done. You have a great art piece. Okay, so now that you have seen these ideas on how to refresh and make over items that you probably already have in your home or are able to get for free, then you can use these same ideas. It doesn't have to necessarily be on these particular items I talked about, but get creative and look around and find some things that can be given new life. Have a great day. And if you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time.